Not worried, just sort of nervous.
Right.
In case there was something that I didn't know about. Like, oh, I ain't him. I'm old. It's like I didn't know that was at all. It was a mystery.
Yeah.
And so when I got there, and there they were at Wembley, 60,000 people. It was like just amazing, and I loved it. Every minute of it. I wasn't even a little bit nervous or anything.
Yeah.
Because I knew that they actually were there for us. Because there was only us, huh? Well, there were two other groups supporting us, who were great, by the way. Really great support groups. But they had come to see us, so then that was fine by me. We had a wonderful night, because I played longer than I've ever played. I played for 2 hours, which is the longest I've ever played. I usually do 1.5 hours, you know, lazy kid. Not really, but I'm not that lazy, but 2 hours. I wanted to put as many songs on film as I could get, you know, so we'd have them all covered. So we did 23 songs altogether that night, which is a hell of a lot.
That's a big old set, that.
It is, yeah. We usually did about 17 on the arena tour that we did, which we haven't spoken about yet.
You know. So this is it. I mean, I'm with the arena tour leading up to this as well. You say you're a person that likes the songs to sound a certain way, and you can do that in the studio because it's your studio and it's the way you want it to. You can't do that necessarily at arenas very easily.
Not very easily, no, not unless you've got great sound guys.
Yeah,
great. We've got 2 great out front mixers and 1 great monitor mixer, and I wear those in-ear things now. You know, there's like everybody else, and you know, you always look like you got National Health hearing aids. And so that's always been about. When I'd stopped touring, so I packed in touring in '86. I stopped doing ELO, and so 30 years later, when I started up again, that seemed to be the thing. You had to have these things now,
so you can hear everything perfectly.
Well, yeah, because the monitors that we used to use, or a lot of people probably still do, the wedges on the floor. So when you're singing into them, depending on how loud the group is, you can either sing miles out of tune because you can't hear yourself, or you say, come on, turn it up, man. And then he turns it up, and of course it feeds back then like it's a great big woo. So it's never a peaceful moment on the stage, but once you got these in, everything's clear as a whistle and, you know, beautiful.
Yeah. I mean, how long were the production rehearsals to get, because it's a long set, complex songs, how long did it take to get it right to the point we're about to see?
Ooh, blimey, I would say over half an hour.
Really? As long as 35, 40 minutes?
It took many, many days of rehearsals. Luckily, I've got a great, wonderful bunch of musicians, and they're superb, and I've got a great musical director, Mike Stevens, who teaches everybody all the bits, all the intricate parts, before I even get there. And so when I join in with them and start singing and playing, it's absolutely wonderful, because it's like, it's a record, only I'm singing and playing on it again. It's really clever. And he's a brilliant guy. Unfortunately, he's just left for Australia, or he would have been here, I'm sure.
Oh, it's a shame. What was the hardest thing about staging these big arena shows, and what was the hardest thing about Wembley?
I suppose sound checking, you know, it's always good to do a sound check, but of course we all know it sounds completely different when the people come in.
Yeah, especially in Wembley, big place.
Yeah, at Wembley, bloody big place. I'll tell you what, the echo, the reverb on that is 7 seconds long.
Well, so if something happens at one end, so you clap and it will keep, something will happen.
Well, the echo of it will go for 7 seconds. It's a wonderful building, and it was just so exciting to hear that giant reverb with full bass, and it's like a great big engine noise with the group and the crowd all singing at once. And it was just the most wonderful, exhilarating experience to be there.
Well, this is the thing, you've said it is one of the highlights, the Wembley show especially, is one of the highlights of the whole of your career, which is not a bad career, with a few highlights in it, you know.
Yeah, this is the absolute highlight, yeah, because it was, you know, I had to do my bit, and that was it. I couldn't delegate anything to anybody.
Tell me a bit about, I mean, that moment just before you walk on, because it's a lovely moment in a concert, isn't it? Because like the audience, they know something's going to happen, and the band are ready. And even if you're playing the same set to the previous night, the gig will be totally different.
Yeah,
and even if you've seen that performance, you know, that list of songs, it could be completely different. And there's that moment just before it starts to happen. How are you at that second, just before the lights go down?
It's always like, you know, it's exciting, and there's adrenaline going, and all the group, we're all like huddling around, you know. God, that'd be great, mate. You know, we're going to be great. And luckily, it turned out that nearly every show I can remember that we did, which was 25 the one year, all big arenas,
yeah, big places,
O2s, and every show went down fantastically well, better than I've ever gone down before with anybody else.
Yeah.
So that was, you know, after 30 years off, I was pretty chuffed.
Well, this is the kind of myth. It was the sort of touring before, because of the ambition of the songs and the complexity of the songs, and as you say, just the technology. It was quite a grind. It was quite tough. Did you really find it that difficult before?
It was difficult before because it was a very small lineup. It was only a 7-piece band, and
which isn't a small lineup for anybody else. That's quite a big lineup.
No, it is, but we're now 13-piece now.
Exactly.
Because my records, the way I produce them, are all have lots of instruments in them and lots of layers, and so to get that sound live, you actually need that amount of people to cover all those parts. And when you got that, and you got two great engineers, and you've got, you know, everybody knows exactly what they're doing all the time, and it's just a pleasure to play because you know it's perfect and it's going to be good.
Yeah, and you've got it's a big show as well as the music. It's a big old production. Was it always? Yeah, I mean, tell us a little bit about how you developed the whole visual side of it.
Well, the visual side, you know, Craig had a lot to do with that as well. And, you know, I had a bit to do with it, but making all these fantastic backdrops, LED, swirling things, giant things, like as big as that back wall. A lot of people had so much input to that. Chris Bourne did most of it, I think, on the design part.